Sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online
with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
It's got to take something really good, next level, to jump the weekend. Sometimes things that happen on a Friday kind of get lost in transition. The weekend happens, other things pick it up, but when it's an epic, one of the greatest NBA Finals performances that you are going to see, we're going to remember that one for a long time. What it do, everyone? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Marie, soon to be joined by Jeff Symbieta this morning. But Friday night was an unbelievable performance from Steph Curry. A GOAT night, a career night, one that you're going to remember for a long time because there's so much from Game 4, from Draymond Green getting benched by Steve Kerr at times. The rotation, good move by Steve Kerr, and the Celtics are going to rue that game for a very long time. So as good as Steph Curry was, watching Game 4, I don't know about y'all, but I was sitting there going, Boston should be winning this game. Like, this should be Boston's game. Everything is pointing their way, but a scrappy performance. We call that a Paul Ware special. Deflections. The number of defensive deflections, the way that Golden State just kept grinding and grinding. Never let Boston get comfortable. And then Steph Curry had his performance. I think that was, if not the best, one of the best finals wins that this Warriors team has had during this run. An unbelievable performance from Steph Curry. Have the Celtics on their heels now, trying to pull all the positives they can out of a game that it felt like they should be winning. Like, what's going on, Boston? 43 points for Steph Curry. He was great. They were scrappy. It's 2-2. We got Game 5 tonight. Hey, Marie, what did you think about Friday night's performance? I just sat there just asking myself, how is Boston not winning this game? How is Boston not finding a way? Well, the answer to that question is Steph Curry, but it was an unbelievable performance by Golden State.
It was so good, and I thought they would get one, but now I'm questioning everything. I'm like, okay, now we got a real series here. But for some, we talked about this last week, it's not that the Celtics are young, they just need to mature in some aspects. And this is when a veteran championship team that is this Golden State Warriors, that is the Warrior championship team, and I couldn't agree more. And I think we got the Curry, not haters, but like to be quiet, because Curry needed more respect, and he showed it that game.
It's a reminder that
it's a reminder who he is.
You're running out of things to do if you're like, Steph Curry really does need an NBA Finals MVP.
I'm like,
sure, it would be nice.
Yeah.
But it's not changing that he is one of the greatest players we've ever seen play this game.
Absolutely, and we saw that
Would it
on
add
Friday.
to it? Yes. But you're not looking back at Steph Curry, and you can't now with that performance. That is one of those games that goes down, and you say, well, remember that Steph Curry game? You remember what he did in Game 4 of the NBA Finals? Because you're getting blasted. You're getting hit over the head with the KD talking. There are only 1-8 since KD left, and only this since KD that. And I think we don't listen to Draymond Green all that much anymore because we get frustrated at times. But Draymond has been flying that flag of, yes, Kevin Durant was here. The Warriors were great, but this has been built around Steph Curry.
Absolutely. And the Celtics cannot just close this playoff run. And I don't know what it is about that third quarter, but
and I thought really it was the fourth quarter for Boston on Friday night. They're sluggish at times. They missed chances. They got some of the switches. They weren't able to capitalize it. And this is one thing with Jason Tatum where it's a balance. Like, Jason Tatum lets the game come to him. He has a ridiculously high basketball IQ because he can still impact the game when he's not scoring, because that is what star-level players do in the NBA. And we see that with his assists in that, what was it, Game 1? Game 2? I forget, Game 1. Game 1 where he had 13 assists. He wasn't shooting well. But the one thing with Jason Tatum, I think he's lacking that Boston needs, and especially in those moments in clutch time in the fourth quarter, is they need Jason Tatum to be selfish. Like, Jason Tatum is a facilitator. He's a playmaker. But there's times, especially when Golden State would go on their runs, and you're just like, oh, you just need that one play. And yeah, you want the ball movement, but it's like, I don't want Marcus Smart shooting this ball right now. I don't need Al Horford taking this corner three. You need that Jason Tatum moment. And I think that is something that could really help Boston late in these games where they're not good in the clutch. They need that close-out moment. They need that big play, and it's got to come from Jason Tatum. And I know Jaylen Brown has been the leading scorer for the Celtics, so he has that downhill mentality. But you're looking at what Steph Curry did. And he's like, I got you guys. And there's got to be a moment. And it has to be Jason Tatum. Because Jason Tatum is the best player in the Boston Celtics.
Absolutely.
Late in a game, they says, hold up, guys. Let me take over for a possession or two. Let me slow down this tide that is coming. Let me get us back on track, and let's go. And that's the only thing I think like Jason Tatum is missing. Because he's a great basketball player, he is. I love the way he plays, he facilitates, but it just feels like there's moments that he needs to grab the game. He needs to say, all right, I'm not letting this game go this direction, especially in the fourth quarter, and he just doesn't have that.
They can still win the series, the Boston Celtics. They just made it a little more
Absolutely.
difficult. They just made it
It's
a
2-2.
little more difficult.
You know what they say? It's anyone's series.
It's anyone's series.
But that was just, watching that game, thank you, first off. Boston and Golden State finally giving us one of those games
See, this is what people wanted.
that had that actual late drama and momentum into it. But it's one that if you look at Boston, they're going to be thinking about that one for a long time because there's so many things that jump out from Steve Kerr to how he handles his rotations when he decided to put Draymond Green on the bench. How about Andrew Wiggins?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Arguably, he's been the second best player in the for the Warriors for this series.
You needed a dude to step up, and Andrew Wiggins played bigger than he ever has.
16 rebounds.
16 rebounds for Andrew Wiggins. And that goes kind of just to the effort. They needed someone just to get in there and clean it up, whether they're difficult rebounds, whether they're hard rebounds. And that was Andrew Wiggins. And that's why Friday, when we're talking about Game 4, and it did not look like Steph Curry had a foot injury at all.
No.
My opinion on the Warriors was it's not about Steph Curry, it's about everyone else. I expected Steph not score 43 points. But in my mind, I'm like, all right, you're getting 30 points from Steph Curry. I was not concerned about Curry going into Game 4. It was, all right, what else do they get? Because Boston at times can give you more all around. And that was my big question in this series. And they got it. They got timely Clay. 4-10 from 3. He stepped up. Mentioned the rotation of Otto Porter playing a lot more minutes. So instead of necessarily going big, Kayvon Looney matching Robert Williams and Al Horford, the forwards inside, Steve Kerr says, let's play a little bit smaller. Give Otto Porter those minutes. Sat Draymond Green at times in the fourth quarter. Big-time decisions that were backed up by Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and Klay Thompson. We're at Game 5 tonight back in Golden State. Are you back into this series at all? Now that we finally got one of those games, you're like, okay. Got away from, of course, Boston at the end with the free throws and just the run that Golden State went on to finish the game. But we finally had some late drama in the NBA Finals, and we saw one of the best NBA Finals victories for this Golden State team in this run. This is an unbelievable performance.
And now it's Tatum's turn, like you said, though. I think you nailed it. Nailed it on the head, JJ. It's Tatum's turn to have that incredible game. Just that he had against the Bucks,
understanding
against
the
the
moment.
Heat. Yep, understanding the moment. It's his time. He already shines.
Like Steph does. Steph realized that game wasn't going to be about the best ball rotation. It was, all right, you step up when needed, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and I'm going to add on a little bit more spice to what I've done. And that's 43 points for Steph Curry. Because Boston is right there. Golden State is right there. And this is the thing. This is the difference. It's what you hit on, Amory. That was a championship performance from the Golden State Warriors. And I think Boston can find that. But it's going to come down to who steps up in the fourth quarter. Because throughout the postseason, and you heard a lot about it this weekend, just the missed chances for the Boston Celtics in certain closeout situations in the NBA Finals. They haven't missed much. These are two fantastic basketball teams. But moments are magnified late in games. And that's why I'm looking at Jason Tatum. On the road, it's going to be the Steph Curry love fest back home. He's going to be clicking on all cylinders. So when that late run comes in a close game, which I'm hoping we get once again tonight, it's one or two possessions where you do have to step outside yourself. And say, I know you're looking for that extra pass. Oh, maybe Marcus Smart is right there. Oh, there's Derek White. There's Al Horford. No. Grab the game. Take it over. Set the tone.
And both these teams can play on the road.
Yes, they can. As we've seen.
It doesn't matter where you're playing.
As they've split in each. We got a big Monday for you this morning coming up at 8 o'clock. Danny Gonzalez scheduled to join us, Lobo football head coach. They finally had a camp this weekend. They haven't had many of them, and this was a high school football camp. Now, Danny's not going to be able to talk specifics on players, but it was a huge weekend for the Lobos. They did offer a couple local high school football players, and we can talk about that, the offers that were reported to a couple players in the metro area. Coming up at 9:30, Grassroots Baseball will be in town on Wednesday at Isotopes Park, and we have a special conversation for you about what that is all about. Grassroots Baseball, an organization trying to bring baseball Americana back to life, let you know about the story of Route 66. And you know what's on Route 66? Yes, Albuquerque and the Albuquerque Isotopes. So we'll talk with Jeff Idelson, former president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and Gene Firth, who helped write the book, Grassroots Baseball. And they're having a big event Wednesday. Greg Maddux will be in town. He's throwing out a first pitch, an opportunity for you, the baseball fan, to get a signed copy of this book, get a picture with those three. So we got a lot going on this morning. Of course, you can get involved, 505-246-0610, the phone number and the text line. It is the opening drive on ProView Networks and 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For over 3 We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this
It's business. You're going to protect your partnership. You're going to protect your partners. But when someone tells you what not to do, when someone tells you this over here is really bad, shame on them. A lot of times people go, who's talking? What are you telling me about? This weekend, we saw CBS, because that's what was televising the RBC Canadian Open, which Roy McIlroy, back-to-back champ, had some drama on a Sunday on the PGA Tour. They took some shots at Live Golf 54. And this is totally WWF versus WCW.
Totally.
You remember that? Like Monday Night Raw, Goldberg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, which side are you on?
I wasn't really into it, but I did go golfing this weekend and at UNM North, and the guy working at the place was like, I was like, do you like the Live Golf thing? Because they were watching golf on TV. And he's like, yeah. And he referred Phil Mickelson to Hulk Hogan when he turned to the dark side. And I didn't watch a lot of wrestling growing up, but I was like, this is hilarious that you brought that point up.
And it's, well, because we had, Jim Nantz and Nick Faldo make the first public comments about Live Golf. It was, the first Live Golf tournament this weekend, all the news that was going on. And you wonder, for golf to have this drama, we're talking about it more than ever. Any publicity is good publicity in this case. But you're getting direct remarks from your lead golf analyst, Jim Nantz. It's a lot of people even look at the voice of golf at times with him calling the Masters, the other tournaments on CBS. But I wonder if all the downplaying that these guys are doing, it just fuels the fire. Like, I don't think it turns people away. Now, I don't know how many of y'all went out of your way on Saturday to find the end of Live Golf, because I forgot about it. It wasn't on my radar after we stopped talking about it on Friday. It didn't pop up on my social media feed. Didn't come into play. It was only the first tournament. But so Jim Nantz and Nick Faldo on CBS. Part of their intro is the first televised comments about the Saudi-backed international series. And Jim Nantz noted the lack of recent success for Charles Schwartzel, who did win the event on Saturday. And then Nick Faldo took swings at the format, the players. Jim Nantz said he felt betrayed. Betrayal by these players. It's business, man. Settle down. But after noting that the tour had suspended those players that are playing over there, they played in the event, and showing the press conference clips of Roy McIlroy and Justin Thomas talking about the series, Nantz asked Faldo for his thoughts, and he said, quote, "Number one, you saw those faces. You can't feel good being a major champion to be suspended from the tour. we've got 2 totally different golf tournaments. One, we play for tournaments and national championships over here. And the Live Tour is what? 54 holes, no cut, shotgun start. Sounds crazy. So we get it. There's going to be the business side of it. You're protecting your partners. You're a PGA Tour member. You're broadcasting the RBC Canadian Open. You're not going to say great things. But I wonder, it just adds to this rivalry, this shots back and forth. But when you hear something like that, Amory, you're the golf consumer, you're tuning in, sitting there on a Sunday. How does that hit you when Jim Nantz and Nick Faldo are out there? They're on a PGA Tour broadcast. But still, how does that hit you when you hear comments like that?
It is business, and I think I don't know the details of the suspension for the players, but I don't know. I don't agree with it. I don't think Live is gonna ruin golf or anything. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't get a good feeling from it, and I was watching it live actually. So
it's the whole anything. It's when it gets preachy. It's gonna get people like, this is more than just necessarily like, oh, your hot take on something, or trying to break something down, or like, I don't agree with that breakdown. This is straight PGA Tour versus Live. This is one entity that's
they're
a
making
little bit
it
of pressure. And
instead of working together, I'm not saying they have to work together, but they're starting something. The PGA.
and this is something Jeff brought up. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck Amory, soon to be Jeff Symbieta. This is he said that he feels this is the most legitimate contender to a pro league we've seen in a long time. Because the USFL is not taking over. The XFL is not taking over. They're trying to actually work on a partnership. Maybe have more of that sense of a minor league pipeline, so to speak, with those leagues going in to the NFL. But when you have this kind of capital behind something, it gets people's attention. And it's going to have some people on edge. Your partners are going to speak glowingly about you, because that's what they do. But I was just interested, when you're the fan and you hear that take. And because you're watching the broadcast, and I got to believe that for the majority of the people that actually tuned in to watch the RBC Canadian Open this weekend, listening to Jim Nantz and Nick Faldo, they're like, yeah, I agree 100%. And now that we're past the first tournament, we're past kind of that initial buzz of who's suspended. We all know the money's out there, so we're not going to beat that topic anymore. We know those guys are getting paid. What's tournament 2, tournament 3 going to look like for Live Golf? We got ourselves a bit of a legitimate rivalry. Like these guys are talking about it. You hear Rory McIlroy make a little backhand comment at Greg Norman. So Rory McIlroy, with his victory this weekend, 21 PGA Tour wins.
And it was insane. I watched the last 9 holes, and he was on fire, except for putting the last couple holes, but he was on fire. And I think he was making a point. I think this gave him fuel.
He's got one more than a certain someone. And that certain someone is Greg Norman. There's 20 wins. So these guys are getting chippy. These guys are talking about it. They understand because it is a big business. And those that are backing the PGA Tour, they got to feel pretty good.
Isn't competition a good thing? Isn't having a contender a good thing? I know that the PGA is a old school, full of tradition, but maybe it needs to evolve and change a little bit, and that's why these players are leaving. So I think it will only help the game, and it will help. I think competition helps no matter what. It will help grow your business. That is my opinion, and I'm saying positive. So I don't think it's gonna ruin the PGA.
It's not, but it's the amount that these guys are taking on. It's really fascinating to watch it because no one else has to deal with that. We don't have to worry about it in other sports, but they're essentially individual contractors. Yes, you're a PGA Tour member, but you can't equate it to anything else because no one can match that money. It's just not the same thing. Like the USFL is not going to call Aaron Rodgers and be like,
"No, absolutely not."
We pulled together everyone's salary, and so our entire league is going to be working for free. But here's a $300 million guaranteed. Would you like to come play for us? Like, that's not going to happen. This is something where you can actually throw crazy dollars at big names, which has people on edge. And this is why the PGA Tour is responding this way.
Yeah, you can't do it with any other sport, especially a team sport. No, you can't. Golf is this works. This is gonna work.
Do you like that there's a bit of a rivalry boiling? Do you like the back and forth? Is this some extra intrigue? Is there actually something there to what Jeff Symbieta said, thinking this could actually be a legitimate threat to a major professional sports organization?
Yes, and it's drama. It's entertainment. It's
you
full
live
of
for
excitement.
drama.
Oh, everyone does. Everyone does.
Sports,
That's why you watch the same sports media, whether it's LeBron, Brady, whatever big athlete, the same old stories, and this is going to be great. And I think they picked the right golfers to go in the right places. It is like a script. It's like a movie. I already said this is going to be a great movie someday.
Whose side are you on?
Whose side are you on?
505-246-0610. Are you team Liv? You team PGA Tour?
Can you be on both sides? Because I watched both
Are you
all
Stone Cold
weekend.
Steve Austin or Hulk Hogan? It's opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For 50.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with
the NBA Finals tonight. What do you think of Game 4? I know you guys just talked about it. I apologize for my tardiness and missing the first couple of seconds.
This could be the first segment for someone.
It could be the
Locked in.
Very good point. Very good point. Good to be here. Opening drive, me and you guys on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Happy Monday to you. Game 4 was first game. Didn't go down the last shot. First game that was down to the last few minutes. Is that fair?
Yes, it had late drama that actually mattered in a contest. And Jeff, I think that was one of the Warriors' best finals victories of this entire run. The way they played as a team. Of course, Steph Curry, went GOAT status, but they're scrappy. It was like Paul Weir special. Deflections everywhere defensively. I think that was one of the best finals victory that team has ever had. Outside of a closeout game for a championship.
Yeah, I'd have to go take a closer look. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you right off the top. I would have to go take a closer look. But with everything that was on the line, with the momentum shifted the other way to be on the road, the way they had played in the previous game, it's as big as it gets. And would you say? And look, Steph Curry's had so many great ones. Would you call it his best?
It's one of those that when we have the discussion, we're looking back at Steph Curry, this is going to be on the list.
Do they have to win the series for that to be legendary?
No, because Steph Curry is a great enough player to where I don't think this will deter from his legacy. It reminds me a lot of the conversation we were having on Friday about Andre Iguodala winning that finals MVP over Steph, but then you also look at what LeBron did in that series, and you're just like, wow, how did they lose that series when LeBron is out there like 33, 13, and 9?
It was it was pretty amazing. Just to watch him take that game over, and they know where the ball's going. They know what Golden State's trying to do. They know what he's trying to do, and we play these games and we react so much game to game. Superstar, not superstar. Okay, absolute superstar. Top 10, top 5, GOAT status. We literally. Well, a guy who's in that conversation can have a game where he only scores. Oh, okay. That is legendary. That game that you watched the other night was legendary. Now, whether they win the series or not will determine how in fact legendary it is. But that was amazing. To watch that guy, that size, that dude take over that game. And they knew where it was going. He's getting no help from Draymond. You got a little help from Clay, a little help from Poole. Wiggins has been good. I think Wiggins has been really good. But it's that dude. All right, we had a lot over the weekend. You talked about the golf. I want to go back into the golf. There was a lot of baseball. Danny Gonzalez is going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. They had their big camps going on over the weekend and offered a number of local athletes, and I think that's terrific, so we'll go there. Jerry wants to talk about the Dodgers. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning. How about Los Dodgers?
How about them?
So I just So I'm a Giants fan. I'm just here to give you a hard time being late. Just the first time the Dodgers have been sit by the Giants since 2016.
Yep. No, it was a good weekend for the Giants. Dodgers left a lot of runners.
I was actually shocked that it.
Me too.
Over the recent years, but the other thing is, it was also the anniversary of Matt Cain's perfect game yesterday.
Don't know that I did know that. I didn't.
So it was a good day for the Giants. Anniversary of the perfect game. Sweep the Dodgers for the first time in like 8 years or six years. That's how math works. And that is it. Also, did you see over the weekend there was a 50-pitch first inning from one of the college pitchers?
No.
It was.
And he made it through?
Go ahead.
And he made it through the inning?
He did not make it through the inning. He spent 50 pitches trying to get to the first inning and did not.
Damn.
Walked in multiple runs.
Yeah,
bad day for this Oregon State pitcher.
Did Oregon State get through? Did they win last night?
I actually don't know. I just saw the pitch.
Yeah, I fell asleep before that.
Last baseball tidbit. Apparently, Joe Madden, before getting fired, got a
mohawk.
Yeah, Jersey.
The morning that he got fired, and that is just some unbelievable luck, but also just so very fitting for a guy like Joe Madden. I thought that was right up his alley, and I think he got exactly what he deserved.
Yeah. All right, Jerry. No, I appreciate the baseball stuff. Thanks, man. Enjoy the day. I didn't know we got a mohawk. I guess I've been out of touch on the Angels.
Well, it was one of those things. You're on a terrible losing streak. You're like, what can I do? Let's show up at the mohawk. And they're like, oh, Joe, nice haircut. By the way, you're fired.
You may want to take the whole thing off now. like, since you started, you might as well take the whole thing and go. It's kind of crazy. I did not know that. I watched the Mets beat them last night. Mets had a nice 5-5 West Coast road swing, and watched that happen. Did not know that. Are they sticking with Phil Nevin for the rest of the year? Is that the plan for them?
I believe so.
All right. I mean, they're right there. If they turn this thing around, they're right there. By the way, to add to the Dodgers' woes of getting swept by the hated Giants for the first time in 6 years, their ace, Walker Buehler, will be shut down for the next 6 to 8 weeks. He will not throw for 6 to 8 weeks. Lord knows when he's going to pitch again. He has flexor strain, right elbow. So this late season return is basically the best case scenario for him. Look, the Dodgers tend to, and I know you're not going to sit there and you're going to feel bad for the Dodgers because they lost the starting pitcher. This is, I would tell you, their best at this point. It's better than Clayton Kershaw now. And he is their highest paid. And so, yeah, will they find an arm? They will find an arm. If anybody's going to find an arm, they may go out and get an arm. Yeah. Because they're the Dodgers. But he left Friday night's game, pitched 4 innings. His elbow began bothering him, and after the game, he said he's dealt with it occasionally this season and in recent years. This isn't anything new. They put him on the 15-day injured list, flew him home, and he's theoretically could pitch this season, but he will not pitch for a while. That's a big blow.
It is. And for the Dodgers, I think initially you're going to see them run some young arms through the rotation. Tyler Anderson has been really good, but it's going to be tough to count on him to pick up that much slack over 2 months. You're going to see some young arms early. They're going to be looking at the trade market. And then you're going to see, I think, a lot of just piecing it together. Guy maybe get you 4 or 5 innings, a Tyler Anderson, and then a bullpen game. We see a lot of that to get you through the summer.
Bullpen games throughout the summer, the way it is. But yeah, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and they got an arm. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Do you watch any of the college baseball, the super regional stuff? Do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. I dig it a lot. Notre Dame is the big story. They beat the number 1 overall team, beating Tennessee, going back to the College World Series. That was the big upset, the big story in college baseball. And you look around, and there's a lot of names that you recognize, but Notre Dame is not one that you expect typically in Omaha.
It is not.
Only the 5th loss at home for the Vols for Tennessee this season. And you don't want to be number 1. You just don't want to be number 1. But I enjoy it. So Omaha, I think, is now set. I believe it to be all set. It was Stanford and it was Oregon State, Auburn, and Stanford and Connecticut. I was watching late yesterday. I didn't see the ends of those because, well, stuff happened. All right. I know you talked about the golf, and I want to get into it more. Did you watch the final of the LIV tournament on Saturday?
I didn't.
Did you catch it?
I did a little bit.
All right. So you kind of go out of your way a little bit to find it.
I watched both.
Okay. What was more exciting?
All weekend. I liked both. Well, Rory yesterday.
No doubt.
I watched the last 9 holes
Yeah,
yesterday.
There's no argument, is there? That Rory and JT
I'd like
and,
to be
and Tony
minus 19
Finau?
at some point.
Okay, but I mean the point that they were
Yes,
going at
it was
each
so
other.
fun.
You had 3 guys, right? Rory, Justin Thomas, and
Tony.
Finau. Now, and again, it's a sample size of 1. And you had Charles Schwartzel, pretty comfortable ahead of what is Henny Von, whatever.
I'm learning names.
Good.
Name 3 live golfers. That's going to be the new
that
segment.
aren't DJ Bryce and Patrick
new-
Reed and Schwartzel.
My new segment. Name 3 live golfers.
I think that's fair. It was fine. It will grow. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I want to get into it. And obviously now the feud, and they're going to all come together this week at Brookline for the U.S. Open, and Rory taking his shot. What do you think of Rory taking a shot at Greg Norman? It's his 21st win on PGA Tour, one more than Norman, is what he said.
There's a spice to it. These guys are thinking about it. And you're going to protect your business partner, and that's what Jim Nantz, Nick Faldo, they were doing when they kind of went on their rant to actually address it on air.
What was their point? Honestly, I was out doing stuff yesterday. I didn't see it.
Nick Faldo, Jim Nantz was said he felt betrayed by these golfers.
He felt betrayed?
Yeah. I was like, well.
Really, Jim?
Okay.
All right.
That seems like a bit much
Okay.
going there. And then, Nick Faldo was just like, you see those guys over there, shotgun start playing 54 holes. We're over here playing for championships and national titles.
And they call
They
call those exhibitions over there. Yeah, I know, exhibition where the dude won $4 million to win.
I mean,
he won $4.75 million because his team also won. Look, if that money is sustainable, then that tour is sustainable. Because Charles Schwartzel won more money yesterday than he won, if I'm not mistaken, in his entire career on the PGA Tour.
most likely.
Is Phil and DJ in the field? Are they both showing up for the U.S. Open this week?
I understand that to be yes.
Because that is amazing theater.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I understand that to be yes. All right, 505-246-0610. We'll take the break, head to the phones when we get back. Danny Gonzalez coming up at the top of the hour. We'll talk to him about the camps and college football. And I don't know how much he can get into some of the offers that were made and the local players that were so prevalent there. I want to get into Holly going into the Hall of Fame, the Boxing Hall of Fame, which was really cool. 505-246-0610. Thanks for being with us this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot.
The Sports Animal.
All right, where do you want to go? We got that golf that was really interesting over the weekend. Which one? Yep, that one. You got the Celtics and the Warriors. So you when they went to Boston, you said that they were going to split, right?
Yes.
And then after the first game in Boston, you wavered a little, right? And you went the other way.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I'm very emotional in the moment.
That's all right.
You can sway me one game at a time.
That's all right. All right. 505-246-0610. Good morning, Lenny.
Morning. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Well, JJ, congrats with Colorado. This should be a good series. You know, the Rangers blew it. They had a chance with being up 2-0, but you saw two of the best goalies in the world going at it. And Tampa showed what a championship team is made out of.
Man, Tampa was good. That was insanely intense, fun watch. Was it?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you weren't a hockey fan after that series, you should be now.
I agree.
I mean, but
Well,
those two goaltenders are just insane.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm going to feel bad that they lost the Rangers, but they're still 2 years ahead of schedule, so I'll take it. At least they learned how to what a championship team looks like. But I think with Colorado and Tampa, I'll still go with Tampa winning it in 6.
Tampa in 6. So, goaltending is going to be an issue, JJ, right? Avalanche are kind of unsettled who they're going with, and Vasilevsky's been insanely good.
It's advantage Tampa Bay in that right now, yes.
Yeah, but it's not only that. It's Kucherov and the other two that they play with that, you know, have their, you know, that line and just their history in the playoffs and the number of scoring they do. But, I mean, Colorado's not going to get embarrassed, but I just see them losing 4-2 just because unless that goaltender implodes, I don't see Colorado scoring more than 3 in any game.
Yeah, is that going to be enough? Is that going to be
I don't
enough?
think so.
Yeah. And that's where it is.
So,
I liked Colorado going in before the playoffs started, but boy, Tampa Bay is really good. And so not only do they score, the goaltending has been, I mean, just phenomenal.
And it wasn't just the goaltending. They took it to the Rangers the last 4 games like the Rangers were just standing still.
Yeah, they did. Rangers got up 2-0 and everybody got excited.
Whatever the coach said to them after the second game, they got a serious wake-up call.
Yeah.
So now I just want to get to golf real quick and then Deshaun Watson's potential suspension. With this new Saudi Arabian league, if they sign another 5 to 10 PGA players, the PGA is going to be in the fight of their life.
They are in the fight of their life right now. They're already in it. They're trying to keep their guys. They're already in it.
Just from a competition standpoint, I mean, I like the idea of 54 holes, no one gets cut, but you also have that team concept. So the guy who wins the tournament still walked away with an extra $750,000 because his team won.
Yeah. Is it $750? Everybody on that team got $750?
Every team got the winning team got $3 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
So the pool that they have for it's $25 million pool for the individuals, and I think it's a $5 million pool for the team concept.
Yeah. If the money look, that's what I'm saying. If the money holds up, if that money's sustainable, then that series is sustainable.
And for one thing, Saudi Arabia and their sovereign wealth fund, if they lose $1 billion in the next 2 years on the tournament, is nothing to them just because of the PR they're getting out of it.
Yeah,
that's what they're looking at to redo their image.
Okay.
But if they get 5 or 10 more top 100 players to come over, and those players all know that they can still play in the Big Four that the PGA can't control, the players will be fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst player on the tournament
got 120
plays
grand.
all 8 and finishes last. He's going to walk away with $1 million.
Well, 120 plus whatever his team got. Yeah.
No,
All
I'm
right.
just saying individually.
Oh yeah. If he plays all year,
every time your team didn't win, you're getting 120. You're getting 100,000 to 125,000 every tournament.
Right. Understood. Yeah. All right.
And all your expenses covered.
Yeah, and your caddy paid for. Yeah, I got it.
Right. So add another 20% into your pocket.
Yeah. All right. What do you got on Deshaun?
So on Deshaun, this is my opinion. The NFL's finished their investigation based off of all the allegations up until the last 2, and they want to stick it to Deshaun. Because the Suns signed a contract this year where his base salary is only $1 million and the signing bonus is $45, they've never suspended somebody and attached anything to their signing bonus. So I think they're going to suspend Deshaun Watson, not put him on the exempt list, so he's getting paid, and then they're going to investigate the other two, and then come back with an even bigger
need a
suspension
second
because now it's an escalation of the first
They
charge
could, and then fine.
that they suspended on.
Yeah. All right, I want to get one
And then
more in
drop
before the
hammer
top.
and then put them out for 2 years.
Yeah, it may happen. All right, let me get one more in before the top of the hour. Thank you, Lenny.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
David, good morning to you. Let me get rid of that. Hello, David.
Long time no talk to.
Good to hear you.
You know where I'm going with this.
Go. Got about 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, quickly. It's all about the OWGR, the World Golf Ranking. If they do not receive points, and the majors hold on to that particular requirement, this golf league will not be sustainable.
What's more important,
Because
points or
everyone-
money? I mean,
it's more important for the majors. Every golfer will tell you that. It's the 4 majors. And obviously, Masters, they're not going to change their requirement. But if the USGA and RNA and the PGA, if they stay consistent with respect to official World Golf Ranking points getting in, and they don't earn any points in the other league, they are not eligible then for those majors. It's not going to be sustainable because they don't get to the PGA Tour, and the DP World Tour stays consistent with them. It won't be sustainable. They won't get the top players.
Yeah.
It's all about the big 4.
I wonder what's going to be more important to the next generation of players, making buku millions of dollars or playing in these traditional big tournaments.
Well, that's the key for this tournament, right? This new league is trying to attract those top amateurs, right, coming right out of college. If they can get those, and they may get a few of those because these guys have no money.
No, they
right?
will.
They don't have.
They will get them. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but for the established players right now, they won't get those players. It's not going to happen. And so, I have a lot of respect now, so much more for Rory and Tiger and all of those guys. That's the face of the PGA Tour right now. It's going to be Rory, Rahm, Tiger, Morikawa, Spieth. I mean, that's going to be the face of the tour, and it's going to be hard for that other league initially to try and lure anybody else away, because it's going to be a big fight right now. And I have a lot of respect for Monahan and his comments yesterday. Right now they don't need them. The guys that are playing in that tour need the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And so, it's. I hope that other league just goes to crap. I have lost all respect for it.
Gotcha, Jerry. Appreciate you. Thank you. It's a really good. I mean, his point on the majors is real, right? I mean, it's real. Where are we going? By the way, the College World Series is not set, and I apologize on that. Stanford and UConn, or Oregon State or Auburn today. They're both tied at 1-1. Danny Gonzalez next. We'll get a recap on the camps. Talk a little college football with the Lobo football coach. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serve.
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 a.m. where have you been? 7 a.m. where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Well, it's always football season. You know that. The NFL is always in your ear somewhere, and college football is a year-round business as well, whether it's recruiting, and last week was camps. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. A-Marie's producing on the radio side, and Adrian on the TV side. A great turnout for the Lobo football camps, New Mexico football camps yesterday. You probably have seen a number of local players were offered scholarships to play at the University of New Mexico. One of them on his social media, Nick Trujillo, the Cleveland wide receiver, has accepted and verbally committed. And so there's a lot going on. I don't think Danny can talk about that, any of them specifically, certainly, but he can talk about the camps and what's going on and the excitement around there. Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez joins us on the opening drive. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. How are you guys doing this morning?
Everything's decent, thank you. How was the week? It looked like the turnout was terrific. The enthusiasm around your camps was great. And I know the importance of that in the local football community gets lost on people, and it's a big deal for you and your program, isn't it?
Oh, it's a huge deal. We had just under 300 kids, and it's a fun deal because they come and they sleep in tents for 2 nights on our field. We coach them up a little bit. Then they have a 7-on-7 tournament. So, I mean, it was a fun weekend. We had schools smaller state. We had kids from Texas, Arizona, California. And then it gives us a chance as coaches to evaluate our local talent up close and personal. We get to put them through drills that we want to see them, see how they move. We can time them in a 40. We can do all those things. And there were some kids that we had evaluated that we wanted to see in person, and we got to see them in person, and so we offer them scholarships.
I don't know if you can talk. I don't think you can about any specifically, but just about the local talent. From day one, from the day you got here or got back here, you talked about how important it was for the local kids. I know it's important for you to have that level of competition, have that level of ability of the local kids, but to be able to go out and then offer them and have one of them verbal, it's got to be really, really cool for you.
It's really good for our program. It's really good for recruiting, and I'm guessing it'll be really good for the camp, because if you can see that 5 kids came out and got an opportunity to compete with us, and they end up with scholarship offers. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to scholarship offer every kid that comes to camp, but it gives you an opportunity. If you think you're good enough and you want to showcase it, then come on out and do what you do. And that's what these kids did, and it was fun to be out there and interact with them. We get to interact with their parents. It's here in town. So, I mean, it was just a great deal. We did this 15 years ago when Coach Long was the head coach, and I mean, at one point we had up to over 650 kids, so as successful as it was this year, I see it growing, and it was a great opportunity to just be around the community. I mean, that's one of my favorite things is just being around those guys, having a chance to communicate and build some relationships, and the high school coaches. It was awesome.
You know, Danny, you mentioned relationships, and Bruce Binkley brought his team from Arizona. His former high school coach here, he was a grad assistant at UNM, and he said about the camp, quote, that not just he wanted his kids to experience, you know, the college campus, but the personal time that you get with guys like Rocky and yourself. When you hear other coaches kind of say things about the camp and about you guys, what does that make you feel?
You know, I mean, it's a really good honor. I mean, all this stuff is derived from when I was working with Coach Long, and the things that we do to be around these kids. I mean, it's why you coach. It's why you get to be around them all year long. And there was when camp ended on Saturday, we had a great opportunity. There was a young man from Deming, I can't say his name, but his ride was coming up from down south, and I got to sit there with him for almost an hour and just talk about what's going on down there in Deming, New Mexico, and those are the kind of opportunities that you get that you wouldn't normally get in recruiting. And so it was a really good time. I mean, I can't wait till next year. Now we got a football season in between there, but it was a lot of fun to be around those kids.
You know, I think people are sitting there listening, go, all right, well, what, I don't get it. What's the camp? You know, you send your, because there's all these youth camps and summer camps and skill camps. Explain to someone who just doesn't understand what went down last week and how big that is for the program. How do you bare bones that?
Well, we do ours different than anybody in the country. I mean, we make it a team deal where the high school coaches their teams, and we also invite individuals, but they come out and they literally camp on our practice fields. They set up tents. We allow them to shower in the football locker room. They get to use our facilities and stuff, but they sleep outside together and they do different things. I mean, they have all kinds of activities, and it goes all day. I mean, we start at 7:30 in the morning, and they don't finish with activities until 9. And then once 9 o'clock, they get to hang out with their teammates around their camp area, and it's just an all-day event. Now there's some sunburns out there and some of those things, and guys get nicked up. We have full-time trainers there. Our coaches are there all day long. They do both coaching the kids, because we do some sessions where we coach them up, and then we run 7-on-7 games. They're refereeing them so that they can feel what it's like to be behind the whistle and get yelled at by those guys. So it's a great, great time, and it lasts for 3 days. And we get a ton out of it. Obviously, we got to evaluate a bunch of kids that we believe can help us win conference championships.
Danny, and you love this state so much, and you hear even kids now kind of have that chip on their shoulder. But as you're seeing these high school kids come up, what do you think of just the attitude that they have trying to put New Mexico on the map, and then the way they feel when they finally get that look or attention from a camp like this?
Well, it used to be a little bit easier to recruit New Mexico and hide some of our gyms because the internet wasn't such a thing. But even with the internet right now, there's a lot of people that just won't waste their time here because the population ain't big enough. They don't think the competition's big enough. Well, I'll tell you what, the Luke Weissongs and those guys of the world are going to change that attitude quick, and we're going to have to fight them off just like we did the first time. When I recruited Jordan Bird and Keyshawn Banks out of Albuquerque, I didn't recruit against very many teams. I mean, Jordan had Utah and all that at the very end. Keyshawn had Wyoming and Utah State. I'm not mentioning our school for a reason. I never saw them. So the New Mexico kids are getting an opportunity to showcase themselves, and now we're going to have to fend off the rest of the country for the best, the most elite talent out in New Mexico. And I'm okay with that. It just gives those kids more opportunities, and if we do a good job with relationships, there's a couple of sophomores here in New Mexico that are going to be recruited nationally that if we do a good job, they'll be Lobos. So I'm excited for that opportunity.
Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez is with us on the opening drive. How extensive was the effort to reestablish those relationships? Because I had heard over the years, and I know you have, what high school football coaches were saying about the local universities, and I'll say plural, the lack of interest, the lack of opportunities were given to kids that they felt had earned those opportunities that could play at this level. So I got to believe there was a lot of repairing going in when you first got here.
It was kind of a both sides deal. There's positives and negatives to everything. Obviously, they hadn't been getting much attention, so they were excited to get it back. But the funny thing is, because I'm from New Mexico and because I've been doing this for 20-plus years, most of those guys that are coaching here in Albuquerque and throughout the state, either I played for them, I played with them, or I played against them as they were coaches as the older ones. So I had great relationships because everywhere I've been, whether it was at San Diego State or Arizona State, we recruited the top kids out of New Mexico every year, and we're very successful in recruiting them. So they welcomed me with open arms from the very beginning, which was huge. And then Coach Long, very much so, they welcomed him with open arms. And then our guys have done a great job. Our staff, I think we have a tremendous staff. And then you had guys like David Howes, and he's right now on the staff, who have relationships with those guys. And I'm not going to lie, I see those guys all the time. You know, well, now's the chance that you guys can throw tomatoes and all those things at them because they're not out there competing against them anymore. And for the most of the part, Rio Rancho and Cleveland have the upper hand against all those schools. So they're getting a chance to have a different relationship with those guys. So I think we've done a really good job throughout the entire state, and I think it's bode well for us.
Did you ever, with that, kind of, as you just addressed, the feedback, like, feel the pressure of, Danny Gonzalez, he's New Mexico, he's going to give everyone from New Mexico a scholarship. Like, how do you handle it from that side if you don't offer someone, or you're like, maybe this person's not for us, and then people thinking that, the backlash that comes from that?
Oh, there's plenty of that. And the one thing that I tell people all the time, the best thing that you can do is don't lie. If you don't lie, you don't have to remember what you say.
Yep.
And I tell all of my friends, especially in the coaching world, and more so when my wife or family ask, hey, can you evaluate this kid? Don't ask me to evaluate him if you don't want my true, honest opinion. Because if I don't think they're good enough to help us win conference championships, I'm going to tell them. And often, it doesn't mean I'm right 100% of the time, because I'm not. But we will give those kids opportunities if we evaluate them and we don't think they're good enough at the moment to walk on and prove that they can. Because I'll tell you what, we've made mistakes. Ryan Cook, who was an all-pro center and played for the Cowboys for 8 years, he was a walk-on at the University of New Mexico because coming out of high school, we didn't think he was good enough. Well, how dumb were we? We were wrong. Nick Spiegel was recruited by nobody and played in the NFL for 8 years, and we were the only ones that offered a scholarship. So there's going to be those opportunities, but I just give them my true, honest opinion of where I think they fit into our program, what I think they are. Some people like it, some people don't, and I'm okay with that because you can't make everybody happy. And if you try to make everybody happy, you're going to end up doing a lot of things that compromise your morals and integrity. So I don't worry about it.
It's interesting you tell those stories because those stories were more prevalent 20 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, Keyshawn Banks does slide under the radar and ends up in New Mexico because that's his only opportunity. But I think of those guys you just said, both Cooks. I think of Hank. Nobody recruited Hank. Brian Urlacher, Hank Basket was recruited by New Mexico. Brian Urlacher, I think, had 2 opportunities, right? Both those guys had good NFL careers. There's a list of guys from that era that probably don't fall through the cracks anymore today, huh?
Not at all. Because of the internet and Huddle, anybody can see them now. They still have to take the time and effort to come out here and visit them and do those things. And a lot of people will use the excuse that the competition in New Mexico isn't good enough. Well, that's a bunch of baloney. These guys obviously have proved that they can compete here. They can compete anywhere. It may take them a couple of weeks to get used to the speed. That might be a little bit faster somewhere else, but that's okay. They're good athletes. They're good football players. They're going to learn to adjust and adapt. And in the meantime, we're going to reap the benefit of it, and I'm okay with that.
I'm going to ask you one more recruiting question. So the allure of you could work on a young man from a sophomore year, right? And you've got a relationship and you're recruiting him. And then he blossoms as a junior or senior. And a big-name school, Pickett, whatever, or just a Power 5 school and the allure of that. How do you battle that? Because you want to be honest with the young man, right? And I know you are, but there's everybody in this young man's ear where you can play in the Pac-12, you can play in the Big Ten, whatever it is, and yet there's probably a big part of him that feels more comfortable here.
There is, and there's 2 sides to look at it, and 2 sides, and when you have the relationship from their sophomore year on, it makes a big difference. One, you can build that rapport with their family. There's a young man at La Cueva and a young man at Cleveland. Go ahead and look them up. They're sophomores. One's going to be a junior, one's going to be a sophomore. They're going to be recruited by everybody in the country. And with the guys that they've played with that in high school that are coming here and building those relationships. Now, I say this all the time, and I stick to it. It's a time in their life to be selfish because this will be one of the last times that they get to pick. They're going to hope they get picked from here on out. And then the relationship side of it, if it's not the people, it's not the buildings and all the extra things that people have. Facilities are great. Everybody has nice stuff. We've got really nice stuff. We've got one of the top 3 facilities in the Mountain West Conference. That has nothing to do with how successful you're going to be as football player. It's the people you're going to surround yourself with. And if they're comfortable with the people that they surround themselves with because they've been with those guys for 3 years, then you have an opportunity to keep those kids around. And I sell that more than anything because it's the truth. I mean, you can get as strong in an 8x8 garage as you can in the nice building and weight room that we have right now. The lure of those things on campus helps with recruiting, but it's the people that are going to help you be most successful, and that's in anything you do, not just football.
Yeah. Appreciate the time. Congratulations on all the success at the camp. See you next. Well, we'll talk to you next Monday. I know I'll see you out at our event next Monday afternoon. So looking forward to that. Enjoy the week.
Thank you. The last thing, tomorrow, Wednesday is our Extraordinary Lobos camps. It's for anybody with a disability. You don't have to have a disability to come and join the camp. Come and hang out with us. I mean, it's designed around that. My wife has been wanting to do this for a long time since we had Abby, and so all the credit for the organization really goes to her. I mean, as a family, we're on board to help anybody we can that might have a different ability. It's just sometimes when you're the head guy, you get to make those choices. And so we've been going full bore on this. And on Wednesday at 11:30, come on out. You can register online, or you can just show up and we'll do registration that day. But it's going to be a fun day. Bring a buddy, bring a sibling. The football players will be there, soccer players will be there. So it's going to be a great afternoon. And then I look forward to next Monday going out and playing some golf with you guys. Thanks, guys, for all you do for us.
That's cool, Danny. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Danny Gonzalez. He had mentioned that earlier a couple weeks ago, and I got a couple of asks. Tell me about that special needs camp. And I think that's really, really cool that they're doing it. 505-246-0610. Hey, what's your financial goal? Whatever it is, Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you achieve your financial goals. Are you looking to retire? We all are. You planning for retirement? We all should be. Investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. Talk to an advisor today. Start walking that path to a confident future. Looking to improve your home? Turn the value of your home into cash. You can use that for improvements, upgrades, and more. Looking for a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs and partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. Buying a car? Competitive rates, unbeatable service. Kirtland Federal Credit Union will help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments with which you can live. Stop by any branch, see what they could do for you, or just visit them online. It's kirtlandfcu.org. kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dreamstyle Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dreamstyle Stucco.
For your business or your
thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Ralph thought there was Monday morning enthusiasm listening in San Diego. Love the enthusiasm, especially on a Monday. Top 3 facilities in Mountain West. Who are the 2 kids Danny said would be recruited by everyone here? San Diego State wants to know. Look, he's not talking about the stadium. Can we be very clear about that? When he says facilities, it's not simply the stadium, okay? Colorado State and San Diego State Stadium is phenomenal, brand new, state of the art. Boise State's done a really nice job upgrading their stadium. But it's not all about stadium. We're talking about weight room and locker rooms and everything that goes around it. If you want to talk about just stadium, okay, you're right. Right? And I think they're aware of that. So when you talk about facilities, it's funny, we had that conversation with the new softball coach last week, Coach Dixon, about what, and she talked about facilities. I said, so when coaches say that, what do you mean? Right? And she kind of went into detail on that. But I've been around now. You've been to a lot of campuses too. More basketball than football. But I think I've been to every football stadium in this league, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been to where Hawaii plays now, but I know it's not top 5. I'm pretty sure I've been to a game at every football facility in this league. And look, what UNM has, you don't have to be ashamed.
Yeah, when you hear, like when you ask that question, all right, can you expand on that? Because facilities to the fans mean something different than to student athletes. For me, I always think about, all right, where are the student athletes spending most of their time? And it's not at the football stadium. It's not at necessarily the basketball court. It's the practice field. It's the weight rooms. It's recovery.
Meeting rooms.
The meeting rooms.
The training room.
Training.
Yeah.
Getting taped.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And Lobos have some good facilities when it comes to that. And they're expanding that with the Champions facility.
The building that's being built, the New Mexico Mutual Champions facility, whatever it is.
But that stuff, that matters. That's where you're spending your time as a student athlete. If you're not, don't have to study, what are you going to do? Oh, it's probably go lift. So things like that, the Lobos are doing a good job trying to keep pace, give their student athletes quality things so they can be the best student athletes possible.
What do you think about the number of athletes? I believe he said he offered 5. Nick Trujillo, the wide receiver from Cleveland, committed on his Twitter, beyond blessed to say I'm verbally committing to the University of New Mexico, and he put out a whole post on it, and he's fired up about it. I think that's wonderful. I know Aiden Armenta, the talented quarterback at La Cueva, was offered, which really I love seeing that. There's a lot going on locally. Now, I think one of the key things that Danny said, I think it's a big, big deal, and I believe him when he says this, is he's going to be brutally honest. Like, his job is to win, and I think he would love, if he had his druthers, he'd win with a whole roster made up of kids from New Mexico. That's not going to happen. It doesn't happen anywhere, man. Nebraska doesn't have all Nebraska kids. Oklahoma doesn't have all Oklahoma kids, right? It doesn't happen. But I think he would love, in an ideal world, he's going to be honest with you. You got a kid, you're his friend, you're his wife's friend, and hey, evaluate my kid. All right, but don't ask the question if you don't want to hear the answer. right?
Yeah, and that's also what I was getting at the end of the conversation with Danny. I'm like, it probably takes plenty of heat and plenty of backlash. Being like, come on, Danny, it's this New Mexico kid right here. Why is he not got a scholarship offer? And he was honest, like, yeah, we might miss on some of them. It's going to happen. But they're going to do the best they can to build those relationships, to be honest. And the way that Danny Gonzalez handles his business is huge, because your first decision isn't always going to be your final decision. It's a life, man. This is 17, 18-year-old kids making that decision, getting swayed, having so many people in their ears. And maybe they think, hey, this is going to be a better opportunity. It doesn't quite work out. Well, 2-3 years down the line, like, hey, I'd like to come back home. Hey, Danny, what's up? Hey, man, how are you? How's it going? Like, he's not going to burn those bridges. He's honest with the kids. He talks about, hey, this is your time to be selfish. You keep that relationship open, and then you never know who might come back, because we've already seen it happen now with players that made the jump, and I don't blame a kid for going to UCLA, having that experience, seeing what it's like, and then he's like, no, I'm going to come back and play football.
Well, that's why I asked Danny that question, right? I mean, and we've watched players. Was it who was the young man that went to Purdue that Bob Davie thought he had? It was a young man from Herman from Cibola.
Grant Herman.
Yeah,
from his Cleveland or Rancho.
Okay, when Bob was here, and he thought he had him, and he recruited him, and it was up until signing day, and then Purdue had somebody back out, and they came in, and look, I'm not going to blame the young man for going to Purdue, right, and playing in the Big Ten. There's the allure of that, but I think that's the challenge of recruiting at this level, right? And I guess at any level. I mean, if a kid was going to go to Purdue and then Alabama called him on signing day and said, hey, I got a spot for you, Purdue may lose him to Alabama, right? It may happen. So where's the allure? The grass is always greener, but the grass isn't green unless you water it. You know what I mean? The grass isn't green unless you take care of it. What? And if you're taking care of the grass on this side of the fence and keep it green, even if he goes somewhere to UCLA, then maybe he comes home one day, and you keep those doors open. I think Danny's really, really conscious of that and really good about it. But we've seen that a number of times. There's guys, and I've told the story. Gosh, if we've been doing the show 14 years, I've probably told it a million times. The Bobby Newcomb story, right? And hey, Marie, do you remember Bobby Newcomb? Bobby is a legend, and maybe the best high school player I've seen in my 26 years here. He was tremendous. He went to Nebraska. This was in 1996 or 7. And Bobby was terrific. In fact, he was a starting quarterback in Nebraska, got hurt, and then lost his job to Eric Crouch, who won the Heisman Trophy. And Bobby was moved to a receiver flanker position and had a cup of coffee in the National Football League. Played the same backfield at Highland High School as Jared Baxter, who had a terrific NFL career. Played for the Lobos.
I know the name.
All right, so Bobby was insanely good. And Dennis Franchione was the coach at the time. And there was a lot of, as it got down to signing time, there was a lot of noise locally about why he isn't a Lobo, and a lot of pressure to be a Lobo. And then UNM, who, according to Bobby, didn't really come at him hard because they figured he was going to Nebraska or Texas or somewhere, came at him hard because there was a lot of pressure and put a lot of pressure on him. And I remember this when I first got here, it's got to be 96. It could be 97. Sitting in the gym at Highland High School in the lobby. And I went out and we did an interview, and I put down the camera, and Bobby and I sat on the chairs in that lobby or on a bench. And you could see he was really conflicted. And we were talking about the pros and cons. I kind of tapped him on his chest. I said, what's this say right there? And he says, that place just feels like home. It has. I went to the camps up there. It felt right. I said, then your decision's made. So, Bobby, this is the decision for you, not for all these people who say they have your interest. This is about you. And that's what Danny's talking about, the one time to be selfish in your life, right? Yeah. Look, Bobby could have transferred back in that day, too. You would have had a redshirt year and sat out. He could have come home. But he went up there and played his years and had I wouldn't say perfect career, certainly an interesting career. There were issues up there. But that's the one that just stands out to me, because here's a guy that was as good as I've seen. There's the three best high school players I've seen around here. Him, Ronnie Daniels, and Nate Gentry. Gentry was an unbelievable quarterback. Ronnie did stupid things on the field, right? Dontrell was really good too, and Dontrell and Dontrell Moore. Dontrell stayed home. But look, man, is the recruiting thing easy? I think the way they're going about it, it's going to be relationships. And once they start winning some games, they can get to a bowl game in the next year or two, compete for a league championship, and then become consistent postseason team in this league. It's going to be a lot easier to recruit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What solves everything? I forget.
Winning?
That's right. I forgot. Yeah. 505-246-0610. Come on in. Protect your home. Hope the good guys are watching your home, not the bad guys. Aaron Jones owns International Protective Service, IPS. They've protected my home for years. Now my neighbors have hired them as well. You see their vehicles all around town. You ever wondered who they are, what they are? IPS is private security. They provide private security for homeowners in Fort Hills starting 16 years ago. And now business owners and homeowners all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Aaron is from here. He's passionate about making Albuquerque a safer place to live and work by watching your home, watching your business with highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols. Committed to our city and to your protection, call IPS. You're going to realize that this is affordable home security and you can protect what's important to you. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
For 50 years,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2
Legendary performance on Friday night.
Legendary!
That was one of the best finals victories for the Golden State Warriors. When they played Steve Kerr, we're sitting there going, Kayvon Looney, got to throw him out there. He's like, I will, but we're going small. And here's Otto Porter. And here's Andrew Wiggins turning into Shaq with 16 rebounds.
Andrew Wiggins making a lot of money during this series. Can I tell you that? I don't know if it's Live Golf Tour type money. Actually, it's better. Well, it depends. If you win 4 times on Live Golf Tour, that's only $20 million. It's not quite yet.
Only.
Well, I mean, but what's a average NBA player making, JJ? $40 million a year? An average NBA player is making about $40 million a year, right? 35?
An average NBA player?
Yeah.
No, that's a very, very good NBA player.
Right.
Making
It's
$40 million.
$7.5 million.
What is?
Average.
Did you look that up? That's
Yeah.
quick. Look at you quick on the Google.
I'm trying. We're getting here.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
All right. 505-246-0610. I got emails I probably should get to. Have you looked at the text line? Because I'm not sure something to which I have access anymore. I'll fix that. But if you got text, you can send them at 505.
It's like Monday, June 13th. It's like
seriously.
It's like the 13th for us today.
Is it the 13th?
By the way,
today?
my car didn't start this morning. It was so weird.
My airbag deployed.
Kyle had to get me to work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We've had a weird.
Weird.
JJ's computer wouldn't open.
Yeah, it's been a really crappy Monday morning.
Oh, we're here.
But happy Monday to you. Yeah, my back's jacked, and that's the first time I've ever had an airbag deploy on me.
Really?
Have you ever?
Yes. I've been in one car accident. Nothing, but I was fine. It hurt.
It hurt. Yeah, it's a good burn. You see that, right? It's a pretty good burn. But I mean, like I just told the gentleman on the phone, the worst thing that happened to me is my back's jacked and my okay. So I got a little. That's why I was late this morning. I was coming down Tramway, and it was a yellow light. I was going through, and there was a car that made a left turn in front of me, and it was either just T-bone that car, or swerve and get out of the way. And I swore. Thank goodness there was nobody making a right turn onto Tramway right there, because there would have been nowhere to go. I swerved and jumped the curb and ended up in a parking lot, and airbag deployed. And yeah, just a
You're
little.
a champ.
Well, I don't know if that's right.
We're glad you're okay.
I'm just glad I missed that car, those two poles, and that gigantic boulder. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've been in an accident. It's not that fun. And then I looked back and the car just took off. Looked back and that guy just later. And there was a couple people came over. There was a really nice lady. Her son must have been about 8. He came over. Here you go, sir. Would you like a water? It was like, wow.
How sweet.
He came over, gave me water. Says, "Is that your mom?" He says, "Yeah." And I went over and I said, "Did you see what happened?" She's like, "Yeah, that guy cut right in front of you, and it was yellow." I'm like, "Yeah, it was yellow, but he cut right in front of me." And so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, now I got to go deal with the police report and the insurance and the rental, and I'm in a rental car.
Fun.
I'm in a rental car. So
we are just happy you are here.
Yes.
Let me just tell you.
And okay.
It could have been a lot worse. Yeah, my back's am I walking like I'm 106?
No.
You walk.
No, you
made
it to work. A lot of people wouldn't have come to work.
I guess I had
That's
the
a lot
out,
to
didn't
say
I?
about you. Yeah.
Been like, yeah, I'm going back home.
I mean, obviously.
Well, I'd like to believe.
And all the stuff you have to deal with before you.
Yeah, it'll be a good day today. All right, but I'm here. Look at the bright side. JJ, I can't even. You guys, if there would have been someone making a right turn, there would have been nowhere to go, and that person would have just been sitting there and just got T-boned right on the driver's side. I mean, because there was nowhere literally to go. Yeah, I got really lucky. All right, if you want to get on the baseball over the weekend, Yankees went crazy. Giants swept the Dodgers. I didn't know Joe Madden had a mohawk. So are there pictures of Joe Madden's mohawk before he got fired?
Adrian?
I'm sure we can find those.
I walk in with a mohawk one day.
Well, watch out.
How would I grow a mohawk, first of all? I can go on like reverse mohawk. It's just male pattern baldness, right?
Is this gonna be a new mail ad or something?
I don't know. Hey, it can be.
Before you get fired.
Yeah, it can be. All right, and if you want to get in on the local athletes who were offered at the camp for UNM football, I think that's something that is a good conversation to have. How do you feel about where they're going locally and what Danny had to say? Because I think that's relatively significant as to what's going on around here. So you can get in on any of that, 505-246-0610. I want to get a little bit more into the golf and the rivalry that has gone from it was quiet, JJ, to it's out there. The commissioner of the PGA sat with Nick Faldo and Jim Nantz. Now, and you said Jim Nantz said, I'm betrayed, like he's betrayed, which is interesting. I can understand how the commissioner feels betrayed. This is a different league. This is guys defecting. Where do you come off on the players who say, like Graham McDowell, I think was one of them. They're guys who are saying, look, I've been able to play all over the world before. So what's the difference? Why shouldn't I be able to go over there, play 8 events over here?
And those other ones, it's one of those like unwritten.
Well, you're tied to the World Golf Rankings.
Yeah,
they're
there's
affiliated,
World Golf
acknowledged
rankings,
tours.
Affiliations, their tours where they're not out there actively recruiting players off the PGA Tour. It's just, hey, there's an event that opened up. Did you qualify in it? Do you want to come play in it? You know, a lot of these guys are European or overseas players that go back and play in those tours.
Let me ask you this. Is there a compromise? I don't think there is, but let me offer you a potential compromise. to keep you, it sounds like to be on the Live Tour, especially the big guys, because whoever finished last, I mean, I'm going to guess they're out next week, right? Because you got at least 2 new guys coming in, Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau, and they've capped the fields at 48, correct? That's part of their deal? They've already, this is another question. They've already picked their teams. Are those teams for the year, or they repick every week?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Because I thought that I think
they draft differently every event.
Okay, I thought it was for the year. You might be right.
I'm going to look it up.
But then there's 2 guys. Somebody, well, I lost the last guy and I got Bryson. Well, I lost the second to last guy and I got Patrick.
Yeah, can there be like trades?
I don't know. I guess. But whoever, I'm going to guess the 2 slots that are going to open up for Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed, I'm going to assume. Well, that's not fair to assume, because what if Phil finished dead last? They're not going to throw him off tour. Right? So that's a bad assumption.
Yeah, you're drafted before each tournament.
Okay, so they redraft each tournament. So, JJ, what if the PGA said the compromise is, I know we got a break. You've got to compete in 10 PGA Tours non-majors per year on tour. And if you do that, then you can go play your live events. But the issue is going to be whatever's up against those live events, nobody's going to be there. The ratings are down. How do you sell your sponsors, your television partners? How do you sell them that this is right? Because I will tell you, the Canadian Open was a way better watch than the live event. It was. It just was. It was a better golf tournament. And good for the PGA to have those 3 guys at the top of the leaderboard this year or this week. What do you think of that?
I'll think on it.
All right, think on it. Tell me when you come back. It's the Opening Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Traffic eastbound.
Convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, so I know that to keep your PGA card, your tour card, you've got to be top, I think it's JJ 125 on the money list. And so is that enough of a, if you were willing to, and not that the PGA Tour is willing to, but if you're willing to make a concession and say, if you want to go play on the Live Tour, you can, go ahead and do your thing, but you still got to qualify. And is that enough? I don't know that there's already requirements that you to keep your card. And then, you'd have your sponsors exemptions. Well, I want DJ to play. I know he doesn't, but I don't know how you manage this. I'm just trying to think, is there a way to, do you say you got to play in 12 events, 10 events on tour?
What was brought up, the world golf rankings,
will
play a lot into this. Also, just who goes. Because right now the PGA, they got some stars that are set. Starts with Tiger Woods. Now he hasn't addressed it, but him just turning it down and then focusing on the majors is big for them. Because I know the PGA Tour is not associated with every major, but they're aligned. And right now, the U.S. Open says, hey, the guys that were in it, that had previously qualified, here we go. But what does that look like a year or two down the road? And are they going to need to address it? And it comes down to just how many high-profile players make that move if they want to start getting into that realm. Because if you're the PGA Tour right now, Live Golf is throwing out all this money.
Mm-hmm.
They got Phil Mickelson, they got Dustin Johnson. but you still have the tournament that has the cachet, that you're aligned with the major golf championships. You don't need to overreact right now.
You need to react, though.
But you do need to say, all right, what could it look like? Is there a possibility that guys can do both?
So right now, you're the PGA. You're way more compelling. Now, do they have Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson? Those are the two biggest names they got. Dustin Johnson. You have what you have. I watched a tournament that Rory McIlroy, and you know what? I don't care if you like Rory or not. Like, how about him stoning up this weekend? He's been the guy that people go to, and he repeats at the Canadian Open, and he wins, and he takes a shot at Greg Norman, and basically he's been the biggest voice, right? I mean, him and Justin Thomas, and there they were at the top of the leaderboard, battling it out down to the last holes, and he goes out and guts out a win. Like the PGA couldn't have asked for anything more than that. Their tournament was more compelling. It was.
Absolutely.
It was. Now, will it stay that way? Did you want to watch Tony Finau, Justin Thomas, and Rory, or Charles Schwartzel, Henny Duplessis, Brandon Grace, Peter Ullheim, Sam Horsfield, Oliver Becker, Adrian Otaegui, and Dustin Johnson and Taylor Gooch?
I mean,
what was a better watch?
RBC.
It's not arguable.
The PGA.
Now, will it stay that way every week? And I want to get into format, too. And I know the phones are ringing at 505-246-0610. I want to get into format, too. What do you like watching better? Then I tell you, I think I like the traditional way. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service.
They're not that proud of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
It is somewhat amazing to me how much golf people have talked to me of late. I was, Addie's lacrosse team had a party, a postseason party this weekend up in the East Mountains. And that's what the dads were talking about. How about this new golf tour? What do you think of it? What do you think? Ryan hit me, and I know Ryan's been all into it, but is it true that after the tournament, they offered anybody who, because LIV is 54. Mm-hmm. Anybody who shoots a 54 is going to make 50. They're going to give $54 million to, which isn't going to happen. I mean, nobody's going to shoot it unless they set up the course like a Muni and let these guys just go out. That's a birdie on every hole, essentially. Right?
I wish.
But a couple eagles.
But look, they set up an easy golf course one day, and tell Bryson and look, these guys, if anybody can do it, it's going to be these guys. Set it up like they set up, one of these easy munis and set a short course up, just the publicity of having someone shoot a 54 and giving them. I mean, that delegitimizes it all, doesn't it? The best score is ever like 59.
Well, if they play it like the Masters Par 3 tournament,
yeah,
where everything is slopes towards the hole.
That's right. Everything just funnels right in. Yeah, that's right. But your thoughts? Look, the money's the lure, okay? And I'm looking at the leaderboard, and I'm looking at the money they got. Top 4 guys make over $1 million. If you finish 20th, you make $190 grand. Phil finished 20? What did I tell you? 28th, 33rd, tied 33rd, $146,000. And then their hotels, their accommodations, their caddies are paid for. I get it, man. If the money's sustainable, this is going to be sustainable. But is there a compromise, and do you want there to be? Should there be a compromise? Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA, saying, hell no. No, I can't say go over and play 8 times a year and try to explain those 8 dates on my calendar to my sponsors why this is good when everybody's over there. Jess, good morning to you.
Good morning, brother. Glad to hear you survived.
Damn, dude, thank you. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
We're getting older, Jeff. We got to take care of ourselves. I took a wrong step yesterday, and my right knee is swollen 2 times to the left.
Really?
I think I retore my MCL from when I was 19, and I think I just sneezed wrong. Right? I mean, I wish I was playing ball or out golfing and just tried to hit a drive down and tweak. Nope, just stepped wrong.
Yeah, no, I survived 2 rounds of golf. It was just driving to work that I didn't survive. Yeah.
I always want, this is my kid is convinced he'll never have to drive because every time he sees a bad accident, he's 12 now. He's convinced I'll just get on a bike. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's any safer. But honestly, the most dangerous thing we do every day is get in our vehicle.
No doubt.
Statistically, that's really,
and you almost have no control sometimes. So I'm glad you made it through,
You're
Jeff.
just cut in front of me. I had nowhere to go. Literally, no. You're hitting it. You're going through the yellow, and I had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Situational awareness. You fast and furious your way out of there. It was great. I think JJ came up with a good point. Now, I don't know if the PGA can do this. Maybe they can go to those 4 majors. I don't know how the rules are written, how exemptions work, but hypothetically, if the PGA was able to remove those exemptions, how many people are jumping now? If you only could play in the LIV league and you couldn't come back to play for any of those majors, I think that changes the mind of some of those guys.
So let me ask you this, Jess, because we had a caller earlier who said if you take away, there's no world golf ranking points associated with the LIV, and there isn't right now. So that's how you qualify for the majors. Would players just say, well, then never mind? And my contention is that the money is more important than the prestige of playing in the Open or the U.S. Open or the Masters. And if I can go over and play 8 tournaments and make an average, and we'll see what the average is going to be, but let's just say I make an average of 10 million, right? Which is way more than I'm making. I mean, so I don't have a damn green jacket. I'll go to a thrift store and get one.
I think guys like Patrick Reed, Charles Schwartzel, guys that probably didn't have a chance to win a major, that's okay for them. Somebody like DJ, the only way he's going over there is for that huge chunk of money, but I think if he couldn't play in those majors, that's what changes. So if they were to change that with the golf ranking, like you said, now does that include an exemption for somebody like DJ? If they won, they can always come back.
I don't think there's exemptions into the majors. I think there's exemptions into the Honda and the John Deere and the RBC. I don't think, JJ, am I wrong? Like there's not exemptions into the U.S. Open. You got to earn your way in, right? You got to
even if you've won before.
Well, if you've won before, there's exemptions. Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, that's what I mean with somebody like DJ. He's not going. He's going over for that huge chunk, but I'm sure he still wants his legacy with the majors.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt. That's why they're all going to be at Brookline this weekend.
If the PGA can stop that, Jeff, I don't think those big guys are going to jump over anymore.
Yeah, but that's why they'll all be back at Brookline at the U.S. Open this weekend. All those guys are going to be back in Massachusetts and playing in the U.S. Open. Now, that's a USGA event, not a PGA event. But yes, that's why they're all going to be there playing for that.
We'll see how it plays out. But back to your other question about format. I didn't like the scoreboard, something as simple as that, and that's something that can be changed graphically, right?
100%.
I didn't really – I was confused really until the end. And I guess the guy for the Fireballs, that team won with their aggregate score, I think.
Okay.
I think that's how it works. You get an individual, and then all 4 members of the team add up their score, and then that's who the team wins, and they get it. I mean, it's sure you can get used to it, but I didn't like it. And then there's not enough big guys, Jeff. I don't know if I want to take my time away from watching the RBC with McElroy versus the only guy I could care about is DJ, really. And even if he wins, who the hell cares? So I think that's what they're going to run into. Yeah, because I don't care about that.
Well, but now there's Bryson and
majors.
Bryson, Patrick Reed, there's Graham McDowell, there's Louis Oosthuizen, there's Dustin Johnson, there's Martin Keimer, there's Phil Mickelson, there's Sergio, there's Lee Westwood. I mean, the Kevin Na. Look, they've got 15 names. Now,
a lot of buttholes.
Well, they got
like
15
the golf
names.
Buttholes.
Yeah.
True, but half those guys people hated anyway. But we also hated to watch. I loved seeing Sergio get upset. It's one of my favorite things ever.
Me too.
That guy throwing a temper tantrum on the course is absolutely amazing. I could go without the spitting in the cup, which we'll always remember Sergio for that. But I don't know, Jeff. Maybe we'll give it some time. They'll change the format up. But it's like one of those things. I'll watch any football because football, they don't tweak it too much, right? I like kind of the rules in the XFL, the USFL.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those players, but I'll still watch it. I think golf, they got to have those big guys, and that's why the LIV paid the big bucks, so they can get 2 or 3 of those big guys.
100%. All right, man. Thanks.
Guys, have a good day.
Did you like the shotgun format? So coming down the stretch for the LIV on Saturday for the PGA on Sunday. Do you like them all playing at once at different holes on the golf course? Or do you like watching them come down 16, 17, 18, playing the same holes in succession, one at a time, leader in the clubhouse? And I'm going to tell you I like the old school format. Maybe that's because that's what I know. But it was just confusing going from here's hole 18 to hole 6 to hole 14 to hole 12. They're all 2 holes to play. They all are 1 hole to play. I like And maybe I'll get there. But after one week, I like the traditional. Where are you guys on that?
It didn't throw me off, and I'm the same way. I feel like I have to get used to it.
Yeah,
I didn't dislike it. And I'll watch any golf though too. I mean, to Jess's point, I don't care if I don't know the golfer. I just love the game. So
Me too.
I think I'll get to know these golfers, and that's what I think is really cool. You're getting to know golfers you probably wouldn't care about.
And the thing too, it finishing on a Saturday.
Do you like that?
They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to get more golf fans in? Because then you're not cheating on the PGA Tour, or you don't have to say, "Oh, this one's coming down the stretch. What am I going to watch on a Sunday?"
So I can watch both final rounds. I could watch the Live on Saturday, and I could watch the PGA on Sunday. Fair? Yeah, fair. I do like it all coming down the same way. 16, they're all playing. So many golf courses are set up where the last bunch of holes are so insane. Now, they did stack the leaders. Like the final group started on 1, right? And so they're playing the leader. The final group is ending on 18. But I don't know. There's something that it didn't click with me yet. I'm not there yet. I agree with him on the leaderboard. It was a tough watch. These players
just
are
the
not
full names.
Yeah, please.
Just give us the full names so we can learn the players.
Yeah, well, they're not. PLARZ is not. I don't know who that is, right? AOTA is not. I don't. What? Give me a damn leaderboard. Like
I don't think it takes that much longer to read a full name.
Well, the PGA graphics are better. They've got the lower right corner.
course.
They've got your leaderboard up with full freaking names the whole time, and they turn them. And when you watch a guy hit, they go to that page with relationship to the leader. I mean, honestly, that's one thing they did not get better. It just wasn't better than what I watch on PGA. It wasn't. It might be innovative because it's up all the time and it looks like kind of a now computer look, but it wasn't better. That part wasn't. And the whole team thing, I don't know that I understand it yet.
I thought, I don't think you agree with this, but I thought it was easier to find and easier access, though, to watch live.
Well, you just go to livegolf.com/watch.
Versus,
it's just different. Yeah, that's what I did.
And it's free I have all the subscriptions, obviously, but.
It was a free watch, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, free watch.
So which format do you like better? Do you like the shotgun start or everybody start, the tee time start?
I like tee times, especially just for final round.
Yeah. And look, you can't do a shotgun with the size of a field at the PGA. At least not until the cut. When you only have 48 guys out there, what's 48? What do they do? Threesomes? Whatever they did? Where are you? You watched it this weekend. So now you got a sample size of 1. Okay? How you feeling about it? What were your thoughts? And is there, well, first of all, should there be a compromise where guys can play on the PGA Tour and go over there? Is there and should there be? I gave you a couple ideas. 505-246-0610. Father's Day is this weekend, boys and girls. What you getting for that father? What you getting for that man? I always tell you a great gift is something that that person will love but might not buy for themselves. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is it. Gift cards are now available online at otsdetailing.com. So what is On the Spot Automotive Detailing? They detail your vehicle. They come to you and detail your vehicle. So your car's dirty right now, grimy, grungy. It's got filth inside and out. I get it. I mean, that's how cars get. They detail your vehicle inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims, around the tires. And when they're done with it, it looks, feels, smells like the day you took it off the lot. And they come to you wherever it's convenient for you. Whenever it is convenient for you, they come to you. So you're working, you're at the office, they're out in the parking lot, and they're detailing your vehicle. You go outside and you're like, wow. And everybody else is going, oh my goodness, I want to do that too. Well, you all can do it by going to On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They also offer ceramic coating, which is the best way to protect your paint for years to come. They apply it by hand. Scratch removal, paint correction. They also have a 10% discount for our military. The number to call is 505-859-2859. Area code 505-859-2859. Or you can book and get a gift card online at otsdetailing.com.
The Jim Rome
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot.
Responding to Danny Gonzalez was with us this morning. We're talking about local recruits and local players on Lobo football. Steve sent me a text this morning. JJ says the best thing about Danny Gonzalez isn't his passion for New Mexico or winning or how many New Mexico kids he recruits. It's that by listening to him, you know the kids on that team are getting someone who cares about them, is a role model, and someone who will do everything he can to help you to be the best man you can be in the future. And I think that's such a tremendous perspective. And I think it's such the right perspective. And I think it's sometimes a lost perspective. We talk about, well, will they win? Well, they only won 3 games last year. Well, I mean, how many games are they going to win this year? And I understand that that it's about winning. And you're not going to know these guys. How much do you really care about these people as men? And I hope you do. But what you see is what you see on Saturdays or Fridays. But I think that perspective is tremendous.
I agree, and it's something that most people that listen to Danny Gonzalez believe it's a true passion that comes through. He's open, he's honest. When it's all said and done, it's going to be about his record, but there is still so much that goes on as a coach that he can do to not just impact your football team, your university, but the community. And that's what he's trying to do. Whether it's the high school camps, which is a benefit because you get a free recruiting trip because all these players are coming to you. But what's going on Wednesday, the 15th? The disability camp, 5 to 18, kids coming out, getting a chance to play football and participate. All of those things and what he's doing. He's just someone you listen to, and I'm buying what he's selling.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Rudy, good morning to you.
Well, I bought in a long time ago. I've known Danny, since Valley High School.
25 years ago. Yep.
He's always been that way. And I think he's just created some really good habits for himself that make him that way and keep him that way. He's got a great family. And those are all the things that, do you have to do that to win? No, but I sure think it helps. And I think that that's what leads to winning. And I think the more character you have on display, the more your players can buy into it. So I think all those things are the reasons why. And, when you can get a guy like Rocky Long who had his choice of jobs, Rocky told me, he could have gone anywhere in the country for pretty much any amount of money that he wanted. So why did he come back here, Jeff? Have you talked to Rocky about that?
I have. Yeah, I have.
And because it's a heartfelt, this is my home, and I want to make this football program the best it can be. And there's no doubt that Rocky leaving, doesn't matter the circumstances, set UNM football back. Well, now they're back to fix all that. It's funny, I was talking to Gavin Bevis, and he said it best, that line from the Blues Brothers, we're putting the band back together.
Out there, you always hear, it set it back decades. And you've said this before. Well, literally, it kind of set it back a decade and a half, didn't it?
Yeah, but you can always catch up. And I've been around. I've been to every football stadium in the conference except the new one at Colorado State.
That's beautiful.
And they needed a new one.
Yeah.
Hughes was really bad.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you ever went in the locker room.
No, I never went in the locker room.
They leaked. They smelled horrible. They were. I don't know about the home team locker room, but I've been in every visiting team locker room. The one at Utah before they redid it was horrible. So that's what they do to the visiting team in a lot of places. Here we need to work on ours, but it's not that bad. It used to be the home locker room for the UNM football team. So I think things are there. Things are in place. And like Rocky told me one time, he said, a building never won a football game. People are who win football games. You get the right people, you're going to win football games, and they have the right people. And congratulations to all the kids that got scholarship offers out of this camp. That shows you what those camps are all about.
Yep. All right, man. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah, if you keep hurting, call me. We'll take care of it.
Yeah. I appreciate
Take care.
it. See you. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I think it's interesting. You hear that a lot, right? Oh, it set it back a decade, 2 decades. Well, in reality, kind of did, didn't it? Where were you 2 decades ago? football-wise. You're pretty respectable. I know this. I keep hearing all the time around here, you can't win in football. This program can't win, JJ. I've been here when it has.
It's what level are you willing to accept? Can this team compete for a conference championship?
So it's a funny question because I think right now, we'd accept that. I'd love to be a 7-win team. Okay. And then you do that for 2 or 3 years, and then, we can't get to the next level. I mean, we've been here, right? This is where you were when Fran left. You went to a bowl game, right? They went to the Insight.com Bowl in 97. Fran left, and Rocky came in. And it was down. All the seniors left. They won 2 games and 3 games and 4 games and 5 games, and they were bowl eligible. That's after a few years. It took a while to build it. They were bowl eligible, I believe, 7 years in a row. No team in the league at that point was bowl eligible. Not BYU, not Utah, not TCU. 7 years in a row. But it wasn't. Remember, it wasn't good enough. Well, he can't take us to the next level. He can't get. Well, the level you're at is the best level you've ever been in the history of this program. So your point's fair. I think now, initially, get me to that level and we'd be thrilled. But any fan base, all right, now what? We got to go to the next level.
Yeah, you
San Diego State's
want to
dealing with
keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
That's even in collegiate athletics. It's the whole point. It's taking those steps, pushing forward, and it becomes that much tougher without divisions. It's going to be harder to get
I haven't thought about that.
into a Mountain West Conference championship game without divisions because it's going to be the top 2 regardless. You're not just focused on the Mountain Division. We have to beat them. It's, we have to beat those 10 other schools.
Yeah,
as well.
I hadn't really thought of it in that way. It's interesting. So you think it's going to be tougher to get to a conference championship this way?
Yes.
Because you could go theoretically 6-2 in league and win your division, where you can't go 6-2 in league anymore probably and get to the conference championship.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. You're going to have that year. You're going to have to compete. But everybody's going to be dealing with the same thing. Everybody's going to be in the same boat. So it's interesting. I hadn't really thought of it that way, but maybe that's right. Look, man, I think competing, going out and winning a couple of games against the guys who have beaten you up for the last bunch of years and getting to 6 or 7 wins and getting to a bowl game is going to make people feel better for a while. Right?
Yes.
How long that while is, how long until you guys say it's not good enough anymore? I mean, look, and this isn't just unique to this fan base. Please don't think I'm saying that, right? It's not. Every fan base, you're going to get to a point where, what's next? What's the next level? I'm not telling you should be absolutely satisfied. I'm telling you, when you get to that level, remember what happened, be appreciative, and if a bad year is 4-8, boy, wouldn't that be great if that's your bad year? Rocky was bowl eligible for 7, I believe 7, it might be 8, years in a row. They won 9 games, won a bowl game. The next year, they went 4-8, had 6 close losses. I can't get us to the next level. And I remember, JJ, sitting right here before that last season started and said, has Rocky earned a down season? For what he's done for this program, has he earned, if they have one? Not that he's going to, and they were 4-8. Has he earned one? The answer evidently was no. I don't know. You think you regret that now? Were you and I doing that? It wasn't you and me at that point. But I said, it's a day you're going to regret.
No.
This was before they hired Mike Loxley. Mm-hmm. This was the day after the press conference, or after Rocky's press conference, where he was out. And I just said, this is the day you're going to regret. Oh, Jeff, we're going to move onward. And not everybody. But now here we are, and you got somebody who's rebuilding, and he's back. And it's going to take time. It took time the last time, right? It took time last time, didn't it? Nobody remembers it that way, but it took time. Now, your question's so right, though, JJ. What will people accept?
You never want to accept less, but consistency, bowl appearances in this format, that should be the standard, and they go from there. It's, all right, can we get bowl eligible on a consistent basis, and then when's that push going to come? When can you push for that year to try to play in a conference championship.
I will ask you this question going into break, and I know I've asked you many, many times. What do you expect from Lobo football, and what will you accept? Now, you'll accept. What does that mean? What will you accept? What's acceptable? Is this the year you competitive? So year 3. It's kind of like year 2, isn't it? Year 1 was like, well, whatever. Where do you see this going? 505-246-0610. For quite some time, I've been telling you about NuMale, how thousands of men benefit from NuMale's industry-leading testosterone replacement, how these men have felt better, felt stronger. They're taking care of fatigue, depression, even erectile dysfunction. Well, do you know NuMale also specializes in hair restoration? Hair restoration without side effects. Here's the number, 505-652-1688. 505-652-1688, or you can go to NuMale, NuMale.com. NuMale gives you options: platelet-rich plasma hair therapy that uses your own platelets and stimulates stem cells deep in your hair follicle to stop hair loss and regrow hair, and an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser proven to regrow hair. They also have NeoGraft hair transplants, producing natural-looking results in less than a week with no linear scarring. The treatments are for both men and women who want a natural and thicker head of hair with no side effects. NuMale's in Albuquerque. The number is 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or visit them online at NuMale.com. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little baseball.
Grassroots baseball, what does that mean for you? What does it mean for baseball fans this Wednesday? It's coming up next here in the opening drive.
Telling it like.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it.
Special week at Isotopes Park. Club's gonna be back home. Greg Maddux, the Hall of Famer, will be in town. He'll throw out the first pitch on Wednesday. Grassroots baseball's here. What is grassroots baseball? Well, you're going to learn all about it, promoting, celebrating the amateur game around the globe. There's a beautiful book out that you can get an autographed copy of. on Wednesday out at the ballpark. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Jeff Idelson is the former president of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Gene Fruth is the co-founder of Grassroots Baseball and took the pictures, the beautiful pictures that are throughout this insanely impressive book. They join us this morning. You're with Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Good morning to both of you. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff and JJ. I'm doing great.
Appreciate
to be with you guys.
No, it's great to have you. Hey, congratulations, first off, on the success of this. Anybody who's looked through this, there's still something about baseball, and we can get all these years later, and there's a lot of things to play, and kids love different things, adults love different things, but especially you hit this time of year. You hit May, June, July, August, and there still is something about America's pastime, and sitting at the ballpark, whether it's in a big city in a gigantic stadium with 50,000 people or in a small community with 1,200 watching the game in there.
Oh, it's so true. It really is. Baseball is about nostalgia and connecting generations, and I couldn't agree more. When you get to this time of year, you really feel it. You know, Father's Day is coming up, and just the summer nights of going to the ballpark and all the memories that you have. And it's the same with Route 66. It's about nostalgia.
This book itself, so Grassroots Baseball and Route 66, which people can meet Greg Maddux and get it autographed. Talk about this book, the inspiration behind it, and what's in it.
Well, Grassroots Baseball, my first book, Grassroots Baseball, Where Legends Begin, was baseball, the amateur game around the world. And each chapter opened with a legend who wrote an essay about what it was like to play baseball in his earliest years in that region. And this was all around the world. 6 chapters outside the U.S. and 7 in the U.S., and it was the hotbeds of baseball. After that book came out, I reached out to Jeff Idelson because I wanted to make Grassroots Baseball something more and give back in my life, and that's where we're both at. We're at a place in our lives where we want to give back and surround our work with purpose. So Grassroots Baseball became a not-for-profit. Jeff was retiring from the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we set off to start our not-for-profit along Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica, did clinics with kids along the way. Hall of Famers joined us. Each kid got a new Rawlings baseball glove and ball. And it was just a terrific way to start off our not-for-profit, giving back to the game that we love, serving underprivileged communities. We connected with boys and girls clubs all along the way. We actually did a clinic at the Isotopes as well. And 3 years later, now we have our second book, Grassroots Baseball, Route 66, and we're heading your way later today, actually.
You know, Jeff, you just heard everything right there, the connecting with the youth. And for you, 34 years in baseball, your time with the Hall of Fame, you understand the history of the game, but it's about connecting to the next generation. How do you see baseball resonating, and then what you guys have been able to do to build that next generation of baseball fan?
Well, you're absolutely right in that baseball does connect the generations. Gene and I say that all the time, and we said that forever in Cooperstown. And, that's what this book shows, is the connecting of the generations. You have kids, and baseball is played at all ages and in all forums, and this book really beautifully shows that across 8 states, from T-ball to Little League to high school and American Legion to recreation baseball to Miracle League, to baseball on Native American reservations, and women playing the game and girls playing the game. And what you see through this book is that connecting of the generations. It's really beautiful.
And I'm talking with Gene Fruth and Jeff Idelson, Grassroots Baseball. They're coming to town. You have the offer now. If you go to AlbuquerqueBaseball.com, the Isotopes, you can get a copy of the book and a ticket. You got to purchase it to be able to pick up your book. Autograph session, photographs coming up this Wednesday at Isotopes Park. But, Jeff, you look at the experiences that you see, and then especially with minor league baseball, which is fascinating, the tweaks to the game, everything they're doing, how important, how impactful are amateur leagues, are the minor leagues to the biggest product with the development, not just with the players, but to the game itself?
Oh, incredibly important. When you look at baseball as an entity, you've got 77 million fans that go to major league games, but another 45, 46 million fans that go to minor league games, and those fans go to minor league games because they play in their communities. So from the ground up, from the grassroots game up, the development of the game is really, really important, and that's why we're so keen on doing what we can to grow it at the youngest levels in the areas that don't have that opportunity.
Jeff, as a former president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I'm not asking for your opinion on this subject. I'm asking how often do you get asked about whether it's Bonds, McGwire, Pete Rose? How often does that conversation just come up when people say, oh, you're with the Baseball Hall of Fame, and then I'm sure people give you their opinion before they even ask you?
Yeah, all those years of being involved in the game, it was a lot about Pete Rose early on, and then it shifted to steroids, and now it's about rules changes. So it's really whatever tends to be topical and controversial. But those are all topics that matter to the game, and people ask questions because they care.
I always wonder this, and I think we've talked about it a lot. I don't, because I've never known the answer. Who makes these decisions? So, for instance, Pete Rose isn't on the ballot. Bonds is on the ballot, and I know the writers make those decisions. But like when it came to is it baseball? Was it the commissioner saying he's banned from baseball, and that's why he cannot be on the ballot?
Well, the Baseball Hall of Fame adopted a rule early on that said that anyone who's on baseball's permanent ineligible list can't be a candidate for election, and Pete Rose is on that list for his connections to gambling. Guys who are under the cloud or auspice of using steroids or having, even if they did use steroids, are eligible for consideration, and it becomes a writer's decision because they're not permanently banned from the game.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, it's allowed people to continue conversations about the game. And if you believe that no PR is bad PR, then the game has certainly got a lot of it. A few more minutes with Jeff Idelson and Gene Fruth.
Gene, you're a sports photographer, and I'm sitting here, I'm staring at a computer screen. I look at my phone all day. There's TikToks, there's videos that we watch. What is it about sports photography and still images that can resonate, and then especially look at a book like Grassroots Baseball, can be still so impactful?
I still shoot the major league game and the professional game, and I shoot it year round. And I love shooting action, and action is exhilarating, and probably more action during my shooting my major league shoots. But Grassroots Baseball certainly has action, but for me, these images have to do a lot more. They need to tell a story. They need to show the culture, the geography, the topography. You look at the picture and you get the story. Great pictures for Grassroots Baseball don't need captions. The story is being told in the picture, and that's my goal when I'm taking these pictures and telling the stories around baseball, the culture of baseball. And that's what it's about for me. Baseball is played the same all around the world, but it looks different in different places. Very easy to show that around the world, but actually along Route 66, urban cities, Chicago, small towns, Baxter Springs, Kansas, the geography and the topography of Albuquerque is very different than the shores of Santa Monica where Route 66 ends. So that's my job, is to tell those stories and to show the culture and what baseball looks like.
Gene, you're at a game. How much of the game do you watch through a lens as opposed to through the naked eye?
I watch the entire game through the lens.
You have an open eye looking. So what are you looking for? Are you just following action? Are you focusing on something? You're looking to tell a story. How do you when you're watching it through the lens? How do you get because you get insanely amazing images.
When I'm shooting the major league game, I'm watching the plays, and in any sport, when you're a sports photographer, the more you know the game, the better, the more consistent you're going to get the shots. And your job is to capture the athlete at peak action. So the more you know the game, you know what that looks like, and you know what you're looking for. So for me, there's a man on first, there's one out or no outs, you're pointing your lens towards second base and expecting a double play, or there's a man on second or a man on third with one out, you're pointing your lens, at home, hoping for a play at the plate. So those kind of things is just understanding the game, and then beyond that, for my grassroots shoots or even for my major league shoots, I go to the ballpark with a plan. So maybe it's an athlete I'm concentrating on, maybe it's just defensive plays that I'm going to concentrate on for that shoot. Maybe it's a story. And same for the grassroots game. Perhaps I want to get fans and get not only the action but the reaction. So, and if it's a big game and it's a high school state championship, well, then the celebration, of course, is going to be important. And I make a plan for the celebration of what I want to capture what angle I want to capture it at.
Well, if you like the game, this book is a gem, and you've got an exclusive offer on Wednesday with your purchase of the Grassroots Baseball book. You'll get to meet Greg Maddux and Jeff Idelson and Gene Fruth, and they'll be out there. Greg will throw the first pitch. Your purchase includes a pre-signed copy of the book, autographed by Greg and Jeff and Gene, a photo opportunity. You got to buy a ticket. All the information's on the Isotopes website, abqisotopes.com. Jeff, Gene, appreciate your time this morning, and look forward to seeing you out in Albuquerque. I know you've been here, so you know how beautiful and special this place is. Enjoy it while you're here. Get some flavor and enjoy the baseball and the weather. We'll see you soon.
Two things to add real quickly, guys, if okay. That each of the 8 chapters opens with an essay from a legend. Alex Bregman is the only current player in this book, and he represents Albuquerque incredibly. And Gene captures all the stories he talks about in his essay. And the other thing I wanted to mention is Wednesday is 4 days before Father's Day, so it's your last chance to get a great Father's Day gift.
It's a pretty good one, too. It's that Albuquerque Academy education for Alex. See, that's how. I don't know if you got that at LSU or Albuquerque Academy, but we'll keep it local where he got his great writing skills. You guys, thank you.
I love that. Thanks so much for having us, guys.
Be well. We'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Jeff Idelson and Gene Fruth. Right? Where do you think Alex learned to write like that, at LSU or at Albuquerque Academy?
Albuquerque Academy.
That's where I'm going.
Obviously.
I mean, it's got to be right here in the book. No?
I mean, obviously.
All right, that's really cool stuff. Baseball is still special. It still is, and especially this time of year. You can respond to what you heard and your thoughts next on the opening drive.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports.
They put it all together through any weather. Nothing looks better from the smooth to the rough. They really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of
It looks beautiful. Alex Bregman wrote the essay, so it could be good. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Let's go. Got to go to the phones, don't I? Terry, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning to y'all. Happy Monday to all of you. Real quick, Wiggins, I thought Game 4, his offensive rebound when they were down by 4 and cut it to 2, put them on the run. Then Clay hit a 3, and then Steph, who went wild the whole game. But it's the little things that sometimes make a difference there. Props to UNM and the local players getting their offers from that. For baseball, I hope it can hang in there. I mean, I grew up in the day you could go to the park. You weren't going to get kidnapped. You could play 3-on-3, no hitting it to right field. We had this empty lot behind all our houses. There was a mesa, and we cleaned out the weeds, and you could just play. And now, you almost have to be in an organized league, whether it be Little League or something, to play anymore. And like I said, back then you could just go to the park and knock the ball around and have it. So I hope the game continues on and all that. I thought it was starting to lose out to soccer somewhat because I finally, even 15, 20 years ago, got them to change the rule on Little League to say, well, have a continuous batting order in Little League. I said, as parents and whatnot, you want your kid to do something. And at least Roadrunner had changed their minor league rules and all that. But there's just something about baseball and the history. You can just put it in your mind, and memories can just sit there, and they're awesome. I still go back to the day of Duke Snyder when I got to fill in as a bat boy at 8 years old. And, hey, Coach, will you come say hi to my mom? And just the smell of pine tar in the dugout and, in the clubhouse. There's just certain things about baseball that, and then you can look at a photograph and you can make a whole story out of one photograph. So I wish them well, the group coming into town. Hopefully they'll have some access and not able to get to the game that can buy it online, and hopefully you guys can promote that how we can buy it online.
Grassrootsbaseball.com. It's right there, grassrootsbaseball.com.
Okay, thank you for that. I didn't catch that. So from that standpoint, A. Marie can share my little Saturday stories with you off the air. Not trying to be a bad guy, but I always appreciate you guys letting me call in. So you guys have a wonderful day. Be safe. Take care.
All right. So if you want to get that, hey, we haven't hit this, and this is kind of, I don't even think kind of. This is beyond kind of. This is a huge deal. Holly going into the Boxing Hall of Fame. Holly Holm going in, the induction was yesterday back in New York, and her getting emotional. And I don't want this to get lost as just some, and I don't think any Hall of Fame, by the way, is a little deal. I think any Hall of Fame is a pretty big deal. But, I mean, she goes in the same class with Roy Jones and Layla Ali, and this is the same place where, I mean, all go through your history of boxing. They're all in here. And Holly Holm belongs here. She didn't get in because of, this has nothing to do with Ronda Rousey. who, by the way, was in town yesterday. This has nothing to do with anything but her insanely successful boxing career. How many athletes do you know that have two, and would you say she's a borderline MMA Hall of Famer if they have such a thing?
Well, they do have.
Okay, is she a UFC Hall of Fame?
That is a really good question.
She has one of the most memorable moments in the history of that organization, correct?
Yes, she does.
I mean, around here, it's the most memorable moment, and I'm going to guess in many places, one of the most. So how many athletes do you know, Bo Jackson maybe, but not really, have had Hall of Fame careers in two different sports? You say, Jeff, they're the same sport. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. Right? I mean, am I over exaggerating this?
I have to look at the UFC Hall of Fame and kind of what they do. I know they put fights in there, and they put fighters.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I think that fight could go in.
But my point is, how many athletes have had that successful careers in two different sports? At that level,
To be able to have a championship,
been at the top of
belt
both. Been at the top
two
of both.
different things.
Yeah. Give me one. You can't right now, can you? Been at the top of both. Been champion in two different sports. Well, Jeff, it's not. They're combat sports, but they're not the same. And what Holly has done in the manner in which she has done it is exemplary. And you and I have talked about how many times did she sit in this chair right here? And it was before Fight at Isleta, and she'd come in and talk about whoever the next person was coming in, and some were good and some were maybe not as good, and you know why she went on to go into MMA. But 33-2-3 with nine knockouts and countless titles, and then she went to MMA. I just don't want to discredit and make sure we understand the magnitude of what Holly's achieved and what that honor was for her yesterday in New York.
It's one that we can definitely continue to talk about as we should throughout the week, and looking at the landscape of sports in this state and her impact, her meaning. Like, she's on, however many you want to put up there. I know there's the history, people reading the story too on it about the other from New Mexico, Bob Foster, Johnny Tapia are there. But Holly Holm is one of those athletes that when we're talking about athletes from the state of New Mexico, she's one of the greatest of all time, and is always going to be on the list.
I mean, just flat out, period. One of the greatest we've ever seen. All right, Game 5 tonight. You guys have gone Celtics every time. I've gone Warriors every time. I mean, are we staying with that trend? Boston has not lost 2 games in a row in the playoffs.
I'm going Celtics.
You're staying on the Celtics, going back to San Francisco. And
yeah, they're both of them are road teams, man.
I'm going to go Warriors tonight again.
Jason Tatum has to step up in the fourth quarter. Looking at you, son.
So you got the Celtics.
I believe in him.
All right. Thanks to Jeff Idelson and Gene Fruth. They were with us today. So was Danny Gonzalez. Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Coward after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Hey, Marie, Adrian, great work today. Let's see if we can turn this Monday around, huh? Be good to each other, please. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.